There are stories we forget on purpose, and some we forget because something wants us to. This story was never supposed to be told again. But here you are, asking me why I wear a dead leaf on a silver chain. You think it's just a keepsake? A strange old charm? No, my little one. That leaf is older than you, older than me, older than time as we know it. And it once saved your life. So listen close now. The forest may have forgotten, but I haven't. And neither has the tree. Chapter 1, The Leaf That Never Died. You want to hear a story, little one? Well, come sit closer. The night is cold and the fire's still warm. Let me tell you something your teachers won't say and your books won't print. This isn't a fairy tale. No heroes, no dragons, just memory and a tree that never forgets. I saw it with my own eyes, not just once, not in dreams. I touched its bark, ran my fingers along its ancient scars, and it whispered back. They call it the tree that remembers. But names don't matter much to things older than names. It doesn't grow like other trees. Its roots dig deeper, not just into the earth, but into time itself. You think I'm joking? Well, I thought so too when I was your age. But then I found the leaf. It was the summer I turned 15. A heat wave so bad the rivers were bones and the sky felt like it would crack open. I was helping my father in the woods, gathering kindling. That's when I saw it, standing alone, far past the old stone wall, where the moss never dries and the birds never sing. The forest there, it hums, like something breathing just beneath the soil. I stepped too close. That's when I felt it, like a heartbeat under my boots. In the air, it turned heavy, sweet and rotten all at once. And there it was, the leaf. It shouldn't have been there. No tree around for yards, but this single, perfect, green-gold leaf lay right in the middle of a dead clearing. Not curled, not dry, not fallen. It shimmered like a memory refusing to fade. I picked it up. From that day on, strange things happened. My luck turned. Not the flashy kind you read about, no lottery tickets, no magic doors, but the kind that matters. Close calls turned safe. Lost things found their way back. And the day your mother nearly died, well, she didn't. She was only 3. Fever high, doctors unsure. I kept that leaf under her pillow that night. Come morning, she sat up asking for porridge. Just like that. And the leaf? Still fresh. Stayed that way for years. Never rotted. Never crumbled. Like it refused to die. I kept it hidden, of course. Some things aren't meant to be shared. But I did ask around, careful like. Old men in older pubs. Forest folk. One man spat his ale when I mentioned it. Said I was lucky to be alive. Said the leaf belonged to that tree, the one from the borderlands of the forgotten wood. He told me the stories, the ones no one writes down, about how the tree chooses people, how it gives gifts at a price. They say centuries ago, a soldier tried to burn it down. His whole village vanished that night. Nothing left but ash and silence. Another tale spoke of a clock, made from a branch of the same tree, crafted by a blind watchmaker. The clock would tick only for the pure of heart, but for the wicked, it stopped, and so did their breath. Then there's the raven, not just a bird, a watcher. They say it circles the tree once a day, never landing, always watching. And when it does land, it means the past is about to return. Some believe it sees everything that was, that if you follow it and it lets you near, you might see your greatest regret or your deepest truth. But don't go looking for it, child. Not every truth sets you free. Some truths anchor you, bind you, make you part of the tree, forever. I never showed anyone the leaf, not even your grandmother. I buried it under the old walnut tree in our yard the day I turned 60. Thought I'd leave that magic behind. But now, I wonder if I was wrong. Because last night, I dreamed of the forest again. The same path, the same breath beneath the soil, and a voice I hadn't heard in years said your name. You've always been curious just like me, and maybe that's why I'm telling you now. Maybe you'll listen, or maybe you'll do what I did and go looking. But if you do, remember this. Don't take anything from the tree, not a leaf, not a branch, not even a whisper, because it always remembers who owes it a debt, and sooner or later it collects. Slow fade to silence. Chapter 2, The Clock That Knew the Heart. You remember what I told you last night, don't you? About the leaf that never died? Good. Because there's more. See, when you live long enough, you stop thinking in years. You start thinking in echoes. And this echo, it came from a man I met when I was not much older than you are now. He was a watchmaker. Old, blind, and quiet. Lived in a cabin that leaned so far to one side you'd think a single breath of wind would push it over. People in town whispered he'd once built a timepiece so perfect, it didn't just tell time, it judged the soul. Said he crafted it from the wood of the tree. Just a small branch, fallen during a storm. He didn't cut it, didn't steal it. It came to him. That's what he said. He carved the clock slowly as if it whispered instructions through his fingertips. No nails, no gears, just wood and will. When it was done, he hung it in his cabin. A plain-looking thing, really. No gold, no glass, just smooth, dark wood and a single hand that spun in silence. But it never ticked. Not at first. Then one day, a man came to visit. A merchant, I think. Came to buy a trinket, maybe a silver piece, maybe a wedding gift. But the moment he stepped through the door, the clock ticked. The watchmaker froze. Said it was the first sound he'd heard from it since it was made. The merchant laughed, thinking it some old gimmick. But then the hand stopped, and so did his breath. That, just like that. The watchmaker swore the man had a wicked past, cheated others, stole, lied, maybe worse. Said the clock only ticked for the pure of heart, and stopped for those with poison in their soul. News spread. Quietly, of course. No one wanted to admit they believed in such a thing. But people came. Pilgrims, some called them. The desperate, the guilty, the hopeful. And the clock judged them all. Tick for the honest, silence for the damned. I met the watchmaker only once. He couldn't see me, but he knew who I was. Said he felt something on me, the leaf, perhaps. Or maybe the memory of the tree itself. He warned me never to try and fix what's been chosen. Said the tree doesn't make mistakes. If it gives with purpose. And if it takes, well, it never gives back what it's claimed. The clock didn't last forever. One winter, the cabin burned down. Locals said it was an accident. Chimney ash, dry wood, bad luck. But those who knew said the tree called its piece back. They found no remains of the clock. Not even ash. As if it had never existed. And the watchmaker? He was found kneeling in the snow, smiling. They buried him with his tools, his hands folded like he was holding something invisible. Some say the tree chose him. Others say it used him. But I think he knew what most of us don't. Some things aren't cursed. They're just too powerful to belong to us. Too ancient to be owned. And when we try to possess what isn't ours, we forget one thing. The tree remembers. It remembers the branch that was taken. The hearts that were judged. The lives it weighed. And now, so do you. That's why I tell you these stories, not just to frighten you but to make you aware. Aware of the world beneath the world. Of the roots that stretch deeper than any map. And of the things that still wait in the dark. Tomorrow I'll tell you about the raven. But not tonight. Tonight we listen. Because I swear, child, if you're quiet enough, the wind carries ticking. Long pause, faint sound of a single clock tick fades in, then silence. Chapter 3, The Raven Who Saw the Past. You're still listening? Good. That means you're not just hearing the words, you're starting to feel the silence between them. That silence matters just as much. Now, we've spoken of the leaf that never died, and the clock that judged souls. But there's one more piece of the tree's story that few dare to tell. They call him the raven. Not a raven, the raven. He's older than any bird has the right to be. Feathers black as coal, eyes like cracked obsidian, and a voice like dry leaves brushing the inside of your skull. I never saw him myself, but my father did, and his father before him. And all of them told the same tale, word for word, as if the bird had whispered it directly into their minds. The raven, they say, lives in the highest limb of the tree. The one that's always bare, even in spring. The one no storm has ever broken. From there he watches, not forward but backward. He sees what was. Every lie ever told beneath the tree. Every tear that hid its roots. Every death. Every secret carved into its bark by trembling hands. He remembers the first child who bled there. He remembers the war that stained its leaves red. He remembers the woman who begged for her lover's return and was answered in silence. The raven does not speak often, but when he does, you listen, because he doesn't tell you your future. He shows you your past, every mistake, every moment of cruelty you hoped was forgotten, and every kindness too, every time you spared someone, helped someone, loved someone, even when you thought it didn't matter. He carries it all, and sometimes, if the tree wills it, he delivers those memories back to you, not as punishment, as a reminder, a mirror. My father saw him the night his brother died. He was only a boy, too young to know why death felt so heavy, so cold. He ran to the forest, to the tree, and cried at its base until his voice gave out. Then the raven landed beside him. Didn't caw, didn't blink, just stared. And my father said the moment their eyes met, he saw everything. Not his brother's death, but his life. The smiles, the mischief, the shared secrets under summer skies. He remembered what he'd forgotten, the warmth before the loss. He said it broke him open and sewed him whole all at once. From that day he was never afraid of death again, because he understood something most people never do. Death is only frightening when you forget what came before it. And the raven, he doesn't let you forget. Some travelers leave offerings near the tree, bits of silver, feathers, even torn pages of confession. They hope the raven sees them, not to ask for mercy, but for memory. And sometimes, when the night is quiet enough, when the fire is low and the wind moves like breath, they say you can hear the rustle of his wings, closer than you think. Now, I know what you're wondering. If he sees everything, does he see us now? Maybe. But don't be afraid. If you've done wrong, he already knows. And if you've done right, he carries it, like a story on his back. And one day, maybe, he'll return it to you, like a gift. But you must listen. To the wind, to the dark, to the silence between heartbeats, because that's where the raven lives. Not just in the tree, but in memory. And child, memory never dies. Chapter 4, The Girl in the Leaf. You never asked me this before, but now it's time you understand why you lived, why that fragile leaf chose you, and what it means to carry something so old, so alive in your hand. When you were so small, lying in that hospital bed, barely breathing, the doctors had already begun to lose hope. The room was cold, sterile, filled with the distant hum of machines and whispers I wasn't meant to hear. You were so still, almost like you had already left us. But I wasn't ready to give up. Not then. Not ever. In my coat pocket I felt the leaf. That single, pressed leaf from the tree that remembers everything. A relic I had carried since I was a boy without truly knowing why. That night I placed it in your tiny palm. And something changed. Not by chance, not by miracle. The leaf chose you. You are not an ordinary child. You carry a legacy that runs deeper than blood or time. This leaf, fragile as it seems, holds centuries of memory, stories of joy and sorrow, love and loss, courage and betrayal. When it touched your skin, it passed on that memory. It bound you to the tree, to its roots and branches, to the souls it has known and held for lifetimes. But with that gift comes a burden. Memory is not always gentle. It can weigh heavy on the heart and mind, pulling you into darkness, tempting you to forget who you are. But it can also be a light, a guide. The tree watches, listens, remembers everything. And now you do too. You will carry its stories, its lessons, its warnings. You will hear whispers others cannot. You will face shadows unseen by most. This is your path now. It won't be easy. There will be moments of doubt, fear, loneliness. But you are stronger than you know. The leaf chose you because you have a light inside that can never be snuffed out. Hold on to that light. Hold on to hope. Because your story, our story, is far from over. You are not just my granddaughter. You are a keeper of memory. And one day when the time comes, you will pass that memory on to someone who needs it as much as you did. Remember this always. The tree remembers, and so must you. The grandfather's voice softens, almost a whisper. The leaf chose you because you are ready. Chapter 5, The Seed of Memory. There is a story that has been whispered for generations. A story of the tree that remembers everything, and of what happens when you plant a piece of it in the earth. They say if you take a seed or a leaf from that tree and plant it in a place untouched by pain, hatred, or sorrow, it will not drink of the world's bitterness. It will grow bright, pure. Not like the old tree, heavy with memory and shadow, but something new, something filled with hope. You were young then, barely old enough to understand the weight of what I was telling you. But even now, I can feel it in you. You are the one who can change the fate of the tree of memory. This is more than just a legacy. It is a responsibility. A responsibility to remember but not be consumed. To carry the past but to build the future. When you plant that leaf in the ground, you plant more than just a seed. You plant a promise. A promise that memory can be light, not darkness. That pain can become strength. That the past does not have to define what is to come. I see the light in your eyes. The same light that once shone in mine before years of sorrow dulled it. You will carry that light forward. And maybe one day you will plant your own seed. And then the tree will no longer be just a keeper of memory. It will be a symbol of hope. A symbol that even in the darkest soil, new life can grow. The raven flies overhead, silent and watchful, a guardian of what was and what will be. You are part of that story now. The story is not over. It is only beginning. The wind rustles gently through the leaves. A single glowing leaf drifts down and rests in your hands. And you smile, knowing this is just the start.